How you guys doing? Today is Lamore. Welcome to my channel. Today I have a new video for you guys and ladies. The other day I was in store and I was thinking about different myths or my mouth is messing up. Myth when it comes to fragrances. When it comes to fragrances, there are a lot of myths out there. Basically, fragrances of different statures, like basically niche fragrances last longer, or it depends on price point, or if you spray a fragrance in a specific spot, maybe behind the knee, it'll project more. There's so much myths out there when it comes to fragrances, so I wanted to debunk them. Not all of them, because some of them are true, but I want to tackle the ones that are not true and kind of give you some clarity on what is truthful, because I've been in the industry for more than a decade, and I've worked for many fragrance brands. I've worn many fragrance brands, from the cheapest to the most expensive. And there are different myths out there that are not true. And a lot of people and clients come in and be like, oh, well, if I do this, then, this will be fine, or whatever. So I wanted to help you guys. So next time you're in store, you can have a clear mind to kind of help you find that fragrance of your choice that you love, without kind of being drawn back by the myths that's out there. All right, so let's get it started. All right, so the first myth that I have is that fragrances expire. Now, when it comes to fragrances, they do not expire. I have a bottle of MFK Amorous Homme, which is a bottle that I got almost 10 years ago. When I worked for Ex Nihilo, MFK counter was right next to me, and the a brand ambassador that was there had given me a larger bottle. I think it was a 250 ml or 200 ml of the Amorous Homme Eau de Toilette. And that fragrance I've had for over 10 years, and it still smells identical to when I first got it. It even smells even better. So when you think of fragrances, they're like fine wine or wine. They age well. It's like barreled oils and notes. So they definitely age better as time goes on. The only thing you need to worry about is storage. I would store it where it's not direct sunlight, or in a cool place, maybe not in, you don't have to buy a whole fragrance refrigerator or anything, but just buy something where it's going to store it, where it's going to be dark, it's going to be like room temperature or cool, not like cold, freezing, or not like super hot, and you're good to go. But I've stored mine in like my armoire that I had for many years, and I've stored it in there. It has traveled for me from the Bronx, when I used to live in the Bronx, actually from Brooklyn to the Bronx, and now I'm in Jersey City, and it's perfect, So it's traveled for me in different areas and different places that it has been stored, and the fragrance has been fine. So fragrances do not expire, to my knowledge, and I've had fragrances over the year. I had Ventus for a long time, that I traveled with, that was fine as well. So if you are buying fragrances and you had them for a long time, don't think you need to throw them out. Don't think you need to buy a new one. Don't think that it expires. It does not expire as long as you store it well. All right. So that's the first myth. Fragrances do not expire. All right. The second myth I'm going to go with is that fragrances last longer according to the price point. So basically, if I go into the store and I see a Bleu de Chanel, right? And then I'll see a Clive Christian bottle, I think the Clive Christian will last longer because of the price point, or how much it costs. Now, there are some instances where fragrances do last longer according to if it's niche or designer, but that's not always the case. It goes by notes. So some notes last longer. So like a vanilla, sandalwood, cedar wood, incense, those are going to be more potent when it comes to the notes. So it's going to last longer on the skin regardless. Now, when it comes to bergamots, the lemons, the patchoulis, those lighter notes, they last, but not as long as a sandalwood or incense or tonka. Those are usually base notes, and that's why they put them at the bottom, so it can kind of have that longevity. But when you're buying a fragrance, do not go according to price point. Yes, if you go to buy a Clive Christian, of course, it's going to last very long. I have some, and they last about 24 hours. And then you have Byredo's Absolute that lasts 24 hours, like the Ball the Freak Absolute prior to the EDP. There are those instances as well, but I would say go according to the notes. If you do love bergamot and you love those citrus scents, try to get like an absolute version. So there's Bald the Freak, EDP, and then there's Absolute. Go with the Absolute version because they'll have the higher potency, higher notes in there, higher oil concentration, so it can last a little bit longer, and you don't have to worry about it dissipating or going away. All right. So price point does not matter when it comes to fragrances. It goes upon notes, how potent it is, the oil concentration there. So that's why you could go to like a random store that sells oils and it'll last all day long because of the oil concentration. So don't always look at price. Price is not always a thing. Sometimes it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've bought fragrances that are super expensive and it did last and it did live up to the hype because of the price point. But sometimes you can buy a cheaper fragrances or a lesser value or more cost effective fragrance and they'll last just as long, or even longer. So go upon the brand, heritage, notes that's in there to really pick which one will last longer. All right. The third thing I'm going to go with when it comes to fragrances, and this is a big myth right there, is that you have to spray behind the legs. I've seen people spray behind the neck area. I've seen people spray in like weird places to say that the fragrance will project more. And it is a little bit true, but this is where I'm going to get you. It goes by where you transfer the most heat. So in your body, there are places that you transfer the most heat, which is like your armpit area. That's why deodorant has like scent in there. And then there's also like the bottom of the chest area where there's heat there, or anywhere in the center of your body as well. Under the kneecap or behind the kneecap. Those are places and that is like has a crevice and it will project heat, but I wouldn't spray fragrance down there. I think it's not true. I've tried it. It's not something that you would do and it projects. I would say if you really want to get great projection, I would go behind the ear. I would go behind the chest area and those areas where you're going to produce the most heat. Even the top of the head produces a lot of heat. If you notice that you sweat from the head area because it keeps you cool. So I would spray even a hair perfume if you want more of a projection. So you can buy like a black saffron hair perfume from Byredo and you wear the black saffron fragrance as well, and that will give you a better projection. Also, you can wear lotion. If your skin is hydrated, the fragrance will last longer. So make sure that you try to lotion your skin either with a fragrant or a non-fragrant lotion. That will help you a lot with the projection of the scent because your skin is hydrated and will cling to the skin a little bit more. So make sure that you're keeping your skin hydrated when you're spraying on these fragrances, whether it's a lotion, oil, anything that will kind of hold on to that scent and then spray the fragrance over. Another thing too, try to spray the fragrance on your body and then on your shirt. So you can reapply. So most fragrances that have high oil concentration, I'll spray it on the skin and then I'll do one more spray on the shirt that I'm wearing for the day. And that will give you the ultimate projection of the scent. If you just put on your clothes and a spray of your shirt, you may not smell it in the body because there's no heat really coming out of that body that's projecting the scent. So make sure that you get it on the skin for sure. All right. And I'll give you a little bonus tip as well. A lot of people will come and ask for coffee beans. I've worked on the floor for many years, and they'll be like, "Oh, where's the coffee beans?" Now, coffee beans do take away the scent that you're smelling, but now you're smelling coffee. Which is going to mess with the notes that you're going to smell later on. Because if you smell coffee and you smell vanilla or you smell something, it'll change it prior to using a clean tissue. So if you use a clean tissue, that will open your nose palette. You'll have a blank slate without smelling anything, and you'll get a better sense of what you're smelling. So next time you're in store, please don't ask for coffee beans. You can if you want to, it is up to you. But I would say as an expert and person that been in the game for a long time, try a clean tissue. It works better. It's better for you. You'll smell more of those notes in there and it'll have a better situation with your purchase. All right. So that's the video I have for you today. Let me know on some myth that I had miss. It's hard to say myths that I had missed for sure, so that you can let me know in the comments and I could probably touch on that in my next video. I could do a part 2. So you let me know in the comments and give this video a thumbs up if I helped you and subscribe for more. All right. Peace.